In this video, we're going to go over a couple more SQL statement parts. First, we are going to use a single customer number with a list of dates. And second, we will create an SQL select clause with table prefixes attached to the beginning of each field. For the first macro, we will recreate this where clause with the same customer number and different dates. In the VBE, we will copy over the SQL where statement 2 and rename it to 4. We will remove the concat call2 variable because we won't need to loop through that column, and we will add a variable for the customer number string. We also need to remove the concat call2 calculation. We will capture the customer number string from the cell of the first row in the second column, and we will trim that as we bring it in. We will take out the code for getting the customer ID from the first column and replace it with the customer number variable. Next, we will remove the number 2 from the order date concat call variable so that it is getting the column number for the list of the order dates in the first column. And with that, we are all set. So we will hit Reset, Save, Run. And back in Excel, our where clause looks good. So let's grab the string and compare it to what we have in Notepad++. The clauses are almost identical. It looks like we improved it a bit by adding a space after the customer ID equal sign. The next thing we're going to do is to create this select clause using fields from our original data and adding the prefix CUS dot. The CUS dot represents a table alias which is often used in SQL statements. You could also use the full table name if that is your preference in the SQL statement you are creating. But we will expand on this idea more in upcoming videos. We will use our original data set to get the field names of the table. We will place our table alias in column J. In the VBE, we will create a new macro and call it SQL Statement 5. We will need a variable for the length of the columns list, and we will need one for the last column. We will need 2 strings, one for the SQL list and one for the column prefix. And we will copy over our lcall code. We will assign the value in cell J1 to the column prefix variable and trim it as we bring it in. We will initialize our SQL list to an empty string. We want to loop through the column headers with the exception of the last one, which is our alias. We will have it stop at the total numbers of the columns minus 1. As before, we will make our SQL list equal to itself, plus the column prefix, plus the dot, plus the value of the column header, and a comma and a space. Once we have our concatenated string with the prefixes, we will trim off the extra comma and space. Finally, we will add the word select to the beginning of the string. And we will place that final string in the cell next to the alias value. So we hit Reset, Save, and Run. We will check our string against the Notepad++, and it looks good. In the next video, we're going to make a more complex SQL select statement clause.